Okay, hello everyone. Let's take a look at what's going on today. Now we've got another Tuesday night, so welcome to B'nai Tuesday evening lessons. We're going to repeat once again what we did in the morning lessons and kind of go over. And what we're doing on Tuesday nights is taking Rav's advice, going over the material that we've learned before so that it can penetrate into us a little bit more. So these Tuesday nights are becoming rather a nice habit for us where we can actually delve into the text that we went through in the morning lesson. And as you know, we just had a congress last weekend, and it was a pretty good one. So we're back charged up with full batteries and ready to go forward. So we're going to do entering impregnation, and we're going to go into the topic, the first lesson's topic, entry into the spiritual degree. So we're just going to read excerpts as usual and see what the Kabbalists are trying to tell us, and hopefully apply them as best we can in the work between us. In the interim, if you've got any questions, though, shoot them through and we'll all clarify it together. We'll clarify it together and see how we go. Okay? So, Ba'al Salam, the first writing is, the focal point in the work of the Creator is the first footing. So the first step is the most important thing, and probably the most hardest, as Kabbalists describe, because entering into the spiritual world is like giving birth, right? It's like being born in this world. So it's rather a difficult procedure. As you know, it takes like 9 months on average. And then what happens is the whole growth process in the womb, plus, having a healthy birth and so on is actually very, very difficult thing. Birth is not an easy thing. So having said that, same in spirituality. So just like we have root and branch in this world, obviously our world is not a spiritual dimension. However, though, everything that's also created here is a reflection of the roots in the spiritual world, as we learned before in the first semester's lessons, right? Root and branch. So this world, this reality, is kind of a reflection. It runs on the principles of still those branches, those roots that are reflected down here as branches. So the first entry into spirituality is our focus, and that's what we're going to focus on. Because once you're born, at the end of the day, the baby is like growing, right? The baby is growing with the mom, the dad, and the family. So we've got this atmosphere, this environment where the baby can grow. So the most important thing, though, is to get that birth happening. Number 2. The importance of the work is precisely when one comes to a state of zero, when one sees that he annuls his whole existence and being, for then the will to receive has no power. Only then does one enter holiness. So let's read again, because this is the condition, right? So we have to come to such a condition that this has to happen so we can enter spirituality. The importance of the work is precisely when one comes to a state of zero. So I need to annul all my desires, like complete nullification of all my desires. When one sees that he annuls his whole existence and being, for then the will to receive has no power. Only then does one enter holiness. So coming to that point is going to be the outcome, the accumulation of the work that I'm doing. So if we work well in spirituality, and we constantly increase the importance of spirituality, right? So what does it really mean to annul my desires? I can't really fight my desires and go against my desires. That's not going to work out because my desire to receive is strong, right? But what I can do is increase the importance of spirituality. So if the importance is always going up and up and up, then my worldly desires are receiving less importance, because by laws of nature, if something is more important for me, I'll put the other stuff on the back burner. And that means I'll be running more forward with spirituality. So the problem is how to make spirituality always more important. All right. That is the way to annul your desires. Number 3, this is number 3, right? Once again, if you have any questions, just shoot them through and we'll see how we go. Number 3, this is from Shamati. by Baal Islam. The matter of limitation is to limit the state one is in and not want greatness. Instead, one wants to remain in one's present state forever. And this is called eternal adhesion. Regardless of the measure of greatness that one has, even if he has the smallest infancy, the smallest state, if it shines forever, it is considered having been imparted eternal adhesion with the Creator, right? So what's it trying to say here? Because it appears like there's a bit of a contradiction, right? On the one hand, we want to grow up and attain higher levels of spirituality. On the other hand, he says, listen, if I limit everything and I don't want anything else, then that should also be enough. I should also suffice for that. Well, how does that work out? Well, let's go into that a little bit deeper. If I annul all my desires, right, all my desire to receive for myself, that is, okay, if I annul all of them completely, then, according to what we read before in item 2, we should have some contact with the Creator, right? That minimal contact that we have with the Creator, because it's the small degree, it's the smallest contact that we have. But if I don't want to get more, egoistically, that is, right? Egotistically, if I don't want more, that point of contact should be the same sensation of eternality, right? Eternal, a sensation of being eternal with the Creator, but at a minimal level. If I suffice for that and not want more, it means I'm not putting my ego into activation. So I'm not activating the ego to want more. So how am I going to grow? If I maintain that situation of smallness and keep working at it, then I let the Creator give me greater greatness rather than me wanting it. Does that make sense? Okay, why? Because adhesion with the Creator is also pleasure. And if I'm always drawn to pleasure, then what I don't want to do is add onto that adhesion with the Creator more adhesion, right? Egotistically. So what I want to do is I want to maintain and preserve that adhesion with the Creator and work in that state as best as I can, without wanting more. And as I work with the best capacity that I have, I'm allowing the light to work on me. So the Creator is then raising me rather than me wanting to push forward, right? On the other hand, can we stop ourselves from wanting to push forward? Well, that's another question, okay? So that we can only see in those states. However, though, the important thing is, once you attain a certain degree of spirituality, what you want to do is maintain that quality. So it's like having a standard, right? Imagine you reach a certain standard and you don't want to go below that standard. So you maintain that standard. And what you can do is increase that standard. But how can you increase that standard? If you first maintain that standard, and then on top of that standard, you add with your work more, and then that additional part that you added, when it turns into bestowal, then you actually elevate yourself a bit more. Then what does that mean? It means that I'm doing the best I can with the capacity that I have at this certain level. And then if I'm doing the best that I can, it should accumulate over a period to lift me up another level. Just like kids are doing the best they can when they're babies or when they're growing up to, I don't know, first they start crawling and then they want to get up and start walking. So what are they doing? They're constantly doing those same actions, right? But they're accumulating those actions. And then from crawling on the floor, they begin to stand on their knee and they begin to stand on their legs. Why? Because those continuous accumulated movements that they're doing over and over and over and over again is building up their muscles, is building up their skeletal structure, They're able to maintain themselves, so they have some force in their body and so on. So that's exactly what we need to do as well. All right. So we shouldn't let our desire run further ahead than what I can do in order to bestow. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Let's do that. What have we got? We've got a question. Okay, so we've got a question from Mohammed. And he's saying, I have lots of rejection against spiritual work after the convention. How can I increase the importance of the work at this point? Well, that's actually not a bad thing. Okay, it's good that we were working, we were happy, we were doing a good job. And then all of a sudden now I feel heavy, I don't want to do it. That's actually a good thing, because with the additional work that I've done, with the additional effort that I've done, what I've revealed is the next level of rejection towards bestowal. That's actually what should be happening. So you're actually on the right track, basically. The more I work, the more I should feel inside of me rejection towards spirituality. I should feel more rejection towards connection, lack of desire. I don't want to do it. Spirituality is not for me. So that should always increase every time you make effort in spirituality. So that's actually a good thing. What can you do? You've got to carry on. There's no other answer. Okay. How can you carry on? Everybody in your 10 needs to make sure you guys increase the importance of the goal. How? You got to talk about it. You guys also need to go have some fun. Have a virtual meal if you want. Have a guys' night virtually, something. Just make sure you guys have some fun while you're studying as well. All right. So sometimes when we're in these states, we need to go out and, hang out and do something on the side as well. So you got to increase the connection with the friends. And that's going to happen if you guys go and do something together. If you're in different cities, if you're a virtual 10, have a meal together virtually, have a few drinks together, laugh together. Talk about your spirituality in terms of how you can advance, how you can make it more important, and so on. Obviously, don't talk about your inner feelings and sensations, but discuss how you can make this more important. Talk about it. Talk about why spirituality is important for you. Because if you guys discuss why this is important, why we have to stay on the path, it's like a way of convincing myself. I'm like self-justifying myself. And that self-justification is important. We have to always work on this. This is why you need a book, a notebook. You need to make notes for yourself saying, well, why is this important for me? Why do I need to do this? What is the meaning of my life? Why am I living? What's the purpose of my life? Do I just want to live and end up dead, or do I want to attain something higher? So these questions, every time we've got to clarify, and also in the 10, clarify it for ourselves even more. There is no other way. But as we go more forward, you're going to find that your egoism is standing in front of you, tougher, stronger. That's how it is. What to do? Well, do whatever you need to do to stay on the path, but don't leave. Because when you're leaving, you're going back to death, right? You're going back to the corporeal world. And it's just a problem. It's a problem. This is why we need the support of the 10. The support of the group is very important. Let's go on to item number 4. The whole earth is full of his glory. That's from an article by Rabash. Before one is fit to attain the truth, he must believe that the truth is not as he knows or feels, but that it is as it is written. They have eyes and they will not see. They have ears and they will not hear. This is only because of the correction. In order for man to achieve his wholeness, for he feels only himself and not another reality. Hence, if one returns his heart to trying to walk in faith above the intellect, by this he qualifies it and establishes it so as to achieve the revelation of the face. Let's do that again. Before one is fit to attain the truth, he must believe that the truth is not as he knows or feels, but that it is as it is written. They have eyes and they will not see. They have ears and they will not hear. This is only because of the correction, in order for man to achieve his wholeness, for he feels only himself and not another reality. Hence, if one returns his heart to trying to walk in faith above the intellect, by this he qualifies it and establishes it so as to achieve the revelation of the face. So this is important. It's also relating to what Muhammad said, right? Because he's studying spirituality. So logically, if I'm studying, things should get better, right? Logically. But he's saying I'm getting more rejection. Well, that's true. Because until, like it says here, until one is fit to attain the truth, he must believe that the truth is not as he knows or feels. Because normally in corporeal reality, right, if I'm advancing, if I'm doing something and I'm advancing, I feel good, right? Let's say I'm going to the gym or I'm an athlete. If I'm running faster, if I'm lifting more, if I'm doing stuff more with comparison to yesterday or before, I'm feeling good because I'm feeling some kind of advancement, right? In spirituality, well, in the wisdom of Kabbalah, that is anyway, it's the opposite because I want to advance. So I'm putting my backside into it, pushing, and what I'm revealing is only rejection, right? I just don't want to do it, right? Because I don't see myself as advancing to becoming good. I'm seeing myself as more evil, as more, lacking the desire. I feel like I don't want to move forward. I don't want to do this. It's just lack of desire. So that's actually the good thing. So the truth is not as what I think it is. This is only because of the correction. In order for man to achieve his wholeness, for he feels only himself and not another reality. Hence, if one returns his heart to trying to walk in faith above the intellect, by this he qualifies it and establishes it so as to achieve the revelation of the face. So what I have to do all the time, right? So this is also an answer to Muhammad's question. If one returns his heart to trying to walk in faith above the reason, above the intellect, by this he qualifies it and establishes it so as to achieve the revelation of the face. So every time I'm getting rejection, every time I'm feeling heavy, I lack the desire, I lack the motivation, I don't want to do it. If every time I go above reason, then this establishes a stronger state for me and it qualifies me step by step to coming to the purpose, which is revealing the creator, right? And the only way I can constantly add and go above reason is if there is a force that can keep me on track. And that force is the environment. So I've got to have the Rav, the friends, the sources, all the lessons and stuff like that. So I've got to have this environment around me so that I can actually push forward above my intellect. It's like advertising, right? They advertise something on TV, something I didn't think about, something I don't even need, right? But they advertise it for me. And all of a sudden I'm convinced that I need it. So the group has to do that advertising for me. This is how our nature gets convinced. Okay, so that's what we've got. So Isoke is asking, Isoke Jacobs, is feeling like you want to leave the work a state that everyone needs to experience? Well, it comes to everyone. I don't want to say you have to experience it, but spirituality is against our nature. And because it's against our nature, when we want to move in the direction of spirituality, then our nature rejects it. Why? Well, let's define spirituality again in the wisdom of Kabbalah. Spirituality is connecting with the Creator. In order to connect with the Creator, I need to have His attributes. And His attributes are love and bestowal, as Kabbalists describe it to us. So if I want to develop love and bestowal inside of me, I want to do things towards other people that are like loving and bestowing. However, because our nature is self-love, I'm rejected towards bestowing and loving others. So the more I try to love and bestow to others, I should find my nature saying, why are you doing that? Why would you? Right? So my nature should be raising its head saying, hey, you're just doing something wrong. And it's true because we're going against our nature. So this rejection normally should pop up. How is it going to pop up? It's only going to pop up if I'm doing things to love others, to bestow to others. Then, only then, it should come up. Why? Because reality is perceived from two opposite points. So I need to push in the direction of love. And as I push in the direction of love, I'm going to reveal the contra to that loving state, which is hate. And I always have to be in between the two. Otherwise, I can't perceive reality in a healthy way. I can't discern between what's right and wrong, what's love and hate. Now then we've got item number 5. This is from Bala Salam, Shamati number 70. We should know that of those who want to come into the work of the Creator, in order to truly adhere to Him and enter the King's palace, not everyone is admitted. Rather, he is tested. If he has no other desires, but only a desire for adhesion, he is admitted, or she, right? And how is one tested if he or she has only one desire? They are given disturbances. This means that he sent foreign thoughts and foreign messengers to obstruct him, so he would leave this path and follow the path of all the other people. If one overcomes all the difficulties and breaks all the bars that block him, and little things cannot push him away, the Creator sends him great disturbances, big ones, and chariots, like big dramas, to deflect one from entering into adhesion with the Creator alone and with nothing else. This is considered that the Creator is rejecting him with a mighty hand. All right, so what do we have to do here? Well, if we're working hard, right, if we're working towards spirituality, if we're doing what we can, then the Creator is sending us problems. He's not actually testing us. There's nothing really to test because the Creator created us, right? What is he going to test? I mean, if you made us, I mean, what's there to talk about? Okay, so there's nothing to test. Basically, when he's sending stuff to us, it's allowing, by trying to overcome all the problems we have and advance in spirituality, by trying to do that, what we're actually doing is developing a desire just for spirituality. So although Bala Salam writes testing here, testing if we have a desire or not, it's actually allowing us to discover ourselves. Why? Because if I have a problem, like Muhammad said, right, I feel rejection now. I don't want to do this. Okay. So now I can see that I don't want to do it. Okay, so I can actually see and feel that I do not want to do this. So now what do I have to do? So what does that mean? It means that this is not the only desire I have. So spirituality is not the most important thing for me right now. That's what I'm revealing. So this is what the Creator wants us to see. So it's a good state. So now that I understand that spirituality is not so important for me, I can either leave or I can say to myself, well, how am I going to get to the purpose of life? And how am I going to make this more important? So now I can talk to myself. I can discern for myself what I need to do, how I need to do it, why I need to do it. And I can use the environment to give me support. And same here. What else does he say here? It says, listen, if I overcome stuff the Creator is going to send me even greater dramas. So all of a sudden, the more I overcome, the Creator is going to like push me even harder. But why am I pushing? Why is he pushing? He's pushing to get us across the line. So it's not to actually get us out of the path, but it's to get us across the line. So I have to think of it from, from two different points of view, actually. If I look at it from the person's point of view, I feel it's hard. I have to now go and do a bunch of other things to put myself back on the track. So it's a bit heavy for the person. But if I think of it from the Creator's perspective, then what is he actually doing? He's like a good father raising a son through difficulties. So when he grows up, he understands how life works, and therefore he can manage life. So if we keep raising our children in a comfortable way, where they're not really developing, they're not pushed to develop, then they're going to be very incompetent in life. They're going to be very stupid as well. Stupid, lack of experience, don't know how to take care of anything, can't even change a light bulb. All right. So what do we want to do? What we want to do is to raise them in such a way that they can be competent and mature and strong enough to govern their lives. That's what we want. So the Creator is also raising us in such a situation. So we're having problems, right? But those problems should only make us better. It should mature us up. And you'll see that once you begin to overcome these problems, then you begin to see how how irrelevant the desires that you had for corporeal reality are. It's like a kid growing out of his toys. So the more you mature up in spirituality by overcoming these problems, you actually grow up. You begin to look at life in a more mature way, in a more targeted way. Just all these problems actually make you the person that you need to be in order to attain spirituality. So don't look at it like a test, despite the fact that it says it's a test here. Look at it from the Creator's perspective, where he's trying to raise us so that we can exist in his reality in an independent way. All right, number 6. This is from Rabash. Let's see what he's got to say. We must know that it is a lot of work before we attain the quality of Bina. That is, to be content with little, with his feeling and his mind, and be happy with his share, with what he has. That person can always be in wholeness because he's happy with his share. But what can one do if he has not yet obtained this quality and he sees that he cannot overcome his will to receive? At that time, he must pray to the Creator to help him so he can go in the work with his eyes shut and will not need anything and will be able to do everything for the sake of the Creator despite the resistance of the body to this. That is, he does not tell the Creator how he should help him. Rather, he must subjugate himself and annul before the Creator unconditionally. So once again, we've got this situation. What's basically Rabash saying? He's saying the same thing in a different article. When the Creator throws stuff at me, obstacles, all kinds of difficulties, and so forth, I need to take it as it is. And I need to say, listen, these are the things I have to go through in order to get to this goal. So if things are coming to me in life, it must be because the Creator wants to raise me to the next level. And if I don't have a tougher situation, it means I'm not raising myself. It means I'm not raising myself higher. I'm not going up. Just like in this world, right? Life gets tougher, but that makes us grow. So in school, the lessons, they don't get easier, they get tougher as we grow up. So every next level is tougher. So same in spirituality and life as well. As we grow up, we face greater problems. Is that a problem? It's not a problem. Why? Because that's how we grow up. That's how we learn to deal with life. That's how we become independent. So if I understand that this is how life works, then this situation shouldn't be a problem. We just have to understand the logic behind it. All right? And that here I'm face to face with the Creator, and He is governing everything. And whatever He is bringing to me is for me to move forward. So if I understand this as a logical thing, then I can take on everything, and then I can use every state in order to push myself a bit more and a bit more and a bit more and a bit more forward. The reason we can handle tough stuff in life is because we understand how life is, because we're living it. In spirituality, we don't have such a sensation. So I have to kind of look at this world and, connect the logic. In life as well, if I want to be good at something, I've got to work hard for it. A musician has to work hard to be a good one. A painter has to paint a lot to be a good painter. An athlete has to work like crazy to be a good athlete. A scientist has to do, like Edison has to do, thousands of bulbs until he gets it right. So this is how life works. And if I understand this is how life works, then I shouldn't have much complaints towards spirituality. The only complaint I will have is, and that's not a complaint, it's just my nature being against this path. Because in corporeality, I can plus or minus see what I'm going to get. Okay, so if I want to be, athlete, I understand I'm going to be famous. If I'm successful, I understand I'm going to make money. I understand I'm going to do the things I love to do. And so, if I get something corporeal, I understand what I'm getting. In spirituality, we don't know what we're getting. And second of all, they're telling us to do something completely against our nature. So it drives us crazy. Right? It's just like, whoa, I don't know what I'm going to get. I don't know what I'm working for. The reward isn't clear. All these things are just out of my vision. So it makes it impossible, well, nearly impossible for a person to keep going forward. And on my own, it would be impossible, because on my own, I wouldn't be able to, keep pushing and pushing and pushing. But if I got friends around me, if I got an environment that supports me and helps me out, then there's something to talk about, because then I can get support. The friends, everybody can help each other out. We can have a good environment, and then we could just keep moving forward. Okay. Now then, let's take a look at item number 7. Since there is no giving of a half thing from heaven, a person must pray to the Creator to give him complete help. This means that during his prayer, a person sets what is in his heart in order. Since prayer is work in the heart, so a person must decide that he wants the Creator to give him a desire to completely annul before him, meaning not leave any desire under his own authority, but that all the desires in him will be only to give glory to the Creator. Once he decides on complete annulment, he asks the Creator to help him execute it. This means that although in the mind and the desire he sees that the body disagrees with him, annulling all his desires before the Creator instead of for his own sake, he should pray to the Creator to help him want to annul before him with all the desires, leaving no desire for himself. This is called a complete prayer, meaning that he wishes that the Creator will give him a complete desire without any compromises to himself. And he asks of the Creator to help him always be with his righteousness. So here, as you can see, because our nature is against this path, we need help. So that help is the surrounding environment, and that surrounding environment allows us to turn to the Creator correctly. What does it mean to turn to the Creator, right? It's talking about a prayer here. A prayer is obviously not something I'm doing as a lip service. It's not paka, paka, paka with the lips. A prayer means, like he says here, look, this means that during a prayer, a person sets what is in his heart in order. That's what a prayer is. I have to set what's in my heart into order. What does that mean? It means, what do I really want? I have to clarify what I want, and that's a prayer. So I can't do it with words. Can't keep, I don't know, blah, blah, blahing on about it. A prayer means what is in my heart. So I have to check what is in my heart. Do I want spirituality or not? Do I want to run after corporeal stuff? If I want to run after corporeality, I need help, right? What do I need help for? I need help to annul that. How can I annul it? If spirituality has some value for me. So I have to ask the Creator for that value. I have to say, listen, dude, I'm still running after my corporeal stuff. In my heart, I still want corporeality. In my heart, I don't feel like I want spirituality. If I can clarify that, then I've got something to turn to the Creator with. I can be honest about it. If I don't want it, I can say, listen, I don't want it. That's how it is. I don't want it. So I need you to help me to want it. Or I need you to give me a desire for spirituality because I can't seem to get this done. So a prayer has to come from a clarification called inner work. I can't just open up a book and start reading prayers from a book. That's nonsense. And the world is engaged in nonsense. So if you want to make it straightforward for yourself, you have to make you have to understand what you're going through. You have to evaluate, think about, put yourself out there, put it on the table, as they say. What do you want? If I clarify what I want, then that's a prayer. And that's how we should be praying. If I want to turn to the Creator, I need to understand how I'm going to turn. What for? Why do I need His help? What is it that I cannot do that I need Him to do? That clarification is the path to building a correct prayer. All right. So I hope you guys are all doing well. Okay. So let's see what's going on. Just bear with me, guys. Where are we? Okay, we're on here, number 8. So let's keep moving forward. This is again from Rabash. After a long period of time of making efforts and not achieving satisfaction of his deficiency, torments and pain begin to form in him because he has made efforts but sees no progress in his work. At that time, the thoughts begin to come one by one. Sometimes it is with sparks of despair, and sometimes he grows stronger, but then he sees once more that he has fallen from his state, and so on repeatedly. Finally, a real deficiency forms in him, which he has obtained through exertion in ascents and descents. These ascents and descents leave him with pain each time at not having been granted adhesion with the Creator. Finally, when the cup of labor has been filled sufficiently, it is called a kli. then the filling of it comes from the Creator, since now he has a real Kli. All right, so all these ups and downs, all these dramatic situations that we're going through, lack of desire, don't want to do it, want to run away, all these things are supposed to come to us. And he's saying they come to a person repeatedly, all the time. So what's there to talk about? This is the path, all right? And if we don't have these ups and downs, we won't have the mind to actually allow us to understand what we're going through. So all of the sensations, what does it mean, up and down? It means I'm going through feelings, sensations. I'm going through all kinds of emotions, right? And these emotions inside of us create that value. The emotions create the understanding. The emotions allow me to fluctuate, oscillate from one state to another. And this oscillation then gives me the discernment of what I want. Do I want it? Do I not want it? How much do I want it? So all these things can actually be evaluated if I go through these fluctuating moods, mood changes, emotional ups and downs. But remember, these emotional ups and downs can only be directed towards the goal. We're not just talking about all kinds of dramas in our corporeal world. We're talking about sensations, feelings, ups and downs that are directed towards the goal. So it must be goal-oriented. Otherwise, you're going to start bringing all kinds of corporeal stuff into your ascents and descents, and that's not right. Corporeal stuff remain outside incorporeality. So all the ups and downs should be with respect to how much I want or do not want to get to the spiritual goal. So all the things I'm going through should be related to that specific target of reaching adhesion with the Creator. Nothing else. Anything else other than that point is not related to spirituality. So we've got to be very focused. Because sometimes friends say, well, I've got corporeal problems. Well, look, join the club. All of us do. Everybody's got corporeal problems. Health, family, work, all kinds of stuff, as you can see. All right, so these problems need to be overcome in a corporeal fashion, but this doesn't mean I have to, leave my spiritual path. Okay, just because I'm unemployed, it doesn't mean I'm going to be now, I'm going to jump off the bridge, or just because, just because I've got a problem with my with my wife or kids or whatever, it doesn't mean I'm now going to wreck my health. Life isn't like that. If I got a problem in corporeality, I try to fix it like everybody else. Okay, so we should all be fixing corporeal problems with respect to how they're fixed in this world under norms and normal societal conditions. And on top of that, I should be also going through those emotional changes with respect to spirituality, but they're two different things. So keep them apart and do not confuse corporeal problems with all kinds of descents that are related to spirituality. Okay, because everybody in the world is going through corporeal stuff, and they will go through more and more of them in a more dramatic way, as we're beginning to see now in the UK with food shortages, I heard. All right, so got to be careful. This is a life. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we've wrapped up about 45 minutes for tonight, and I don't see any other questions. All right, okay, so you guys all get the drift. It's good for us to go over these materials in the evening and strengthen ourselves with what the Kabbalists are saying. So I hope you guys had a good Tuesday evening. In the meantime, we're going to say goodbye, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday, hopefully. Until then, bye-bye, all the best.